Welcome everyone to Brothers by Law. We're talking Grand Theft Auto today, Ryan.
I know, how crazy.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna
um.
we gotta get off something that I won't get attacked on social media for because I triggered a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people last week.
Oh yeah. You got dragged, but
Man, it was good.
deservedly so because you deserved that one. After that abomination that was last week, but that's
I
okay.
had fun.
Area of expertise is coming up because you dive into the video game world way more than I do. You dive into the I don't know. I don't know the word. You're just more involved in it than I am. More variety in it than I am.
Yeah.
But I'm in that zone. We're recording this on a Monday night, and I am fresh off 2 days of WrestleMania, guys. Everyone knows this network. But it's different this year, being 2 days and not having to be up as early. However, you would know the feeling, Ryan, when you watch something, and even when you watch WrestleManias from years past, but just when you watch something and you're so into it that it's very exhausting. And I mean that
Oh
in a good
yeah,
way.
for
But I'm
sure.
exhausted. I have not had a nap today, so I napped yesterday after WrestleMania. It was great. Today I didn't. I just didn't for some reason. And now I'm like, oh man, it's the 2 day, it's that post WrestleMania depression that you sometimes get, and it's all happening at once. So it's a good time to record, to be honest, because when I get a little bit delusional, a little bit delirious, a little bit sleep deprived, is when I seem to do my best work. So strap
Yeah.
yourselves in, everybody.
Well, the
Um,
reason why you get tired more than anyone else is because you scream during pay-per-views.
damn
From
straight.
start to finish, you're screaming, yelling, cheering, loving everything. There might be a
And
match in the
standing,
middle where you will
always
like sit
standing.
down and have a breath, but yeah, you're just standing, walking around, running. You're too much energy almost.
When it comes to wrestling,
Yeah.
I'm the least lazy. I'm a lazy person, but not when it comes to wrestling. But it's a bit different this year, everybody. Social distancing and all of that stuff. No
Uh-huh.
fans. It's very hard to convince people, even if we're allowed to have small groups of people inside homes. But getting people that don't watch wrestling every single week, like Ryan and Shaylee, to watch wrestling with no fans is a hard sell, and I can't force them to do it when there's no fans because I get why you wouldn't. However,
It
everyone knows, and everyone will side with me on this. These 2 days of WrestleMania were damn near fantastic. So, I guess the joke's on you for not watching it because, but regardless, I'm forcing Ryan to go back and watch the Boneyard match and the Firefly Funhouse match because they were just out of this world amazing. So,
yeah.
they will
Like
watch it.
I would have watched it, but it just felt at such an awkward time where, you know, if it was just like normal WrestleMania and none of this whole world stuff was going on, then it would have all been fine. But I worked yesterday and or Sunday it would be, so I couldn't watch it then. And the second one, part two, I guess, which was the Monday, we just had so much going on. We had to, yeah, we just had to do so much. And, I just couldn't find the time to do it, which did suck. But
Well,
it
the
is what it
joke's on
is.
you because you missed a good damn show. But this isn't a wrestling show of the week, I guess.
Yeah.
However, we're always going to have that wrestling backdrop because I think people have actually asked me this, Ryan. I actually haven't mentioned this to you, but they would like to hear us dive into wrestling semi-regularly at some stage. So, I don't know, maybe once a month or something, we'll do some kind of wrestling-themed episode because
Well,
you have different opinions on wrestling than I do. We don't always agree.
no,
But it's nice to sometimes hear from a casual. I don't know if I would call you a casual fan. You're more than a casual fan because you know more and you kind of you're updated through the internet of what's going on. But I would call you like an in between casual and regular viewer. You're like
yeah,
somewhere in the middle of
I,
that.
I try to keep up as
You
best
keep
I
tabs
can.
on it. You know,
Yeah,
for the most part you know what's going on, and everyone sees clips on Twitter or YouTube or Facebook at some
yeah,
stage. So it's not hard to keep updated with it, and you'll always, for the most part, watch the pay-per-views. It is a hard
yeah,
sell when there's no fans. I understand. However, don't knock it till you try it, I guess would be my opinion. But what we're talking about today is we're diving into the world of Grand Theft Auto. Now, I've dived in on Grand Theft Auto in multiple episodes past, but specifically, I've never gone into speculation and excitement and all of that for, well, potential GTA 6. Of course, nothing's been officially announced, and
Nope.
it probably won't be for a little while, so it's only assuming that we're going to get another Grand Theft Auto, but we can pretty much confidently say there'll be another Grand Theft Auto probably in the next few years. But it's all he said, she said until Rockstar come in with. But before we get to GTA 6, I have never, with the amount of episodes I've done on GTA, I've never just kind of gone back and just looked at this timeline and kind of see where we're at now and what I've liked and what my memories are for it. I've just kind of focused on different topics. So the perfect thing with you is that, although I don't, your favorite games are not necessarily open world, like GTA kind of games. They are for me. You know that they're my favorite games, is these Rockstar open world games. I think they're brilliant, and I like that real life aspect where you can just kind of be free and do what you kind of please. I love a game like that. Other than, of course, WWE 2K20, because that is just a wonderful game. Other than that, I mean. But no, wrestling games and that Grand Theft Auto style open world game is what I love the most. So, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid, I was certainly playing Grand Theft Auto, probably when I shouldn't have been, to be completely honest.
Everybody was.
But what was I think I know the answer, but what was the first ever Grand Theft Auto game you played?
First ever? I reckon I played, I want to say number 3, I reckon it was.
See, you're different than me. Okay, so yeah, I've never played number 3. Still haven't to this day. I've seen clips of it, but I've never played it. Yeah, everyone keeps telling me that. Like, it's the first one in the 3D universe. I guess, because there's all these different universes within GTA. There's like the 3D era, then there's the HD era, and then there's
the 2D.
There's the 2D era. I think I have played maybe Grand Theft Auto 1 or 2, like within the last 10 years or something. It wasn't the first one I played, but I think I've fucked with it a little bit, not much, I don't think, but because it's so different. Anyone that hasn't played those games, it's like top view, and it's easier seen than the way I'm explaining it. But
it was built more like an arcade style game.
It was, yeah, they were interesting, but at that time, well, I think not even at that time though. At that time, they were certainly doing more stuff that was a little bit behind with stuff, but that's just what they were going with.
Yeah,
but it was fine. But really, Grand Theft Auto Vice City is the first one that I ever played.
Great game, another great one. All great titles in their own way.
Grand Theft Auto really, it's that style of game. Although it was, from my understanding, that type of open world game was certainly around, but Rockstar really kind of just took the ball and ran with it in that regards. I don't really think, in my personal opinion, Rockstar do open world games the best. But that's just, there is others, of course. There's a whole list of others that have their own games, and they're great. But Vice City was the first one that I fucked with, but I was young. Like, I was real young when I was playing Vice City. San Andreas is always going to have a special nostalgic place in my heart. Because that was really the one that I was like growing up with, and that was around for so long. San Andreas, even still to this day, I can go back and play and still enjoy it.
And that was the one that they really expanded out with the open world by having multiple cities in the one game. I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, San Andreas, yeah.
Oh, number 3, they also had that.
Number 3 was in Liberty City, right?
Yes. I reckon it was.
I'm not honestly
sure.
Yeah,
Liberty City.
Okay, yeah. So, and then, of course, Vice City. And then San Andreas had Los Santos, San Fierro, and Los Venturas. And then they had like Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories, which I've played, but they were on the PSP. They did have it on the PS2, but they were made for the PSP first, weren't they? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And then they went to PS2. I think I've played them, but they're nothing. They're just kind of in betweens. Then of course you have Grand Theft Auto 4 is really the one that I as a teenager played the most because I was just that age. And that's when I really started to learn about Grand Theft Auto a little bit more and the history behind it. It wasn't just a video game. I was like, okay, there's more to this than that. What are some memories of you with Grand Theft Auto 4? Because I think that gets a
Oh
little bit
wow.
overlooked, that game.
I
Because
mean,
people talk
I
about San Andreas and then 5, but what about 4? What is the
number
memories of
f-
4?
number 4 was probably the one I sunk most of my time into. That game, I'd play every second I could really play it. Like I was smashing out countless hours. Like even after completing the game, I'd still just jump in and drive around, and there'd be this in the city. There'd be this crane that I'd climb up on, and for probably a good like 2 hours, I chucked in a cheat for guns, and I'd just snipe at people down in the street for no reason, and I'd spend like a good couple of hours just doing that, and then once I was bored, I'd jump off. But I think the thing that I loved most about that game was the mechanics of like crashing a car and like the
Flying out of the
detail.
window, flying out of the
Yeah,
windshield that you'd like.
yeah, and just the detail that they had. It definitely stood out against the rest. Well, at the time
Well,
against the rest.
yeah. I mean, I I go back and forth on GTA 4. Sometimes I play that game even now, and I'm like, man, this game was really cool. You could do a lot of stuff in it.
Yeah,
Of course, you could go to the comedy club, and of course, you could go bowling, and you could, but there's something about, see, I think it's the setting of it. Liberty City to me is so, well, it's obviously based on New York and New Jersey. It's there's something about it to me that's just very gritty and dark, and I personally like bright, sunny Los Santos. That's just me. That's just nitpicking, and it's a me thing. But Grand Theft Auto 4 was like the gap in between what we got in 5 and where we could kind of go at the very beginning of that generation of system, because Grand Theft Auto 4 came out at the very start of like that era of games. I mean, as in like PS3, Xbox 360. That was the
yeah,
very
yeah.
beginning, when GTA 5 was at the end of that cycle, which is odd. But yeah, GTA 4 was just like, it was just so gritty. That's how I remember it. And I just remember spending a lot of time in like Times Square area and going to all the comedy shows and just sitting and not really doing anything but watching those shows. I miss that aspect of Grand Theft Auto. I wish they would have that somewhat in Grand Theft Auto 5, but 4 was... I have a lot of fond memories of playing 4. I have more fond memories of playing The Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned DLC than I do the actual main story of Grand Theft Auto 4. The Ballad
Yeah,
of Gay Tony was fantastic.
yeah. Which those, yeah. In saying that, those expansions were really good. I think they were probably the. I reckon I sunk my time into the Lost and Damned more than Ballad of Gay Tony, only because I enjoyed being, I guess, leader of a bikie
Yeah.
gang.
And I
And
was
just
more
going,
into like clubbing and shit like that. Like
yeah,
being that was just perfect. Just the stories of both of those. Going
yeah.
back and actually thinking, I don't think I've ever actually completed the main story of GTA 4. I think I've only ever completed the 2 DLCs. I think. I
Huh?
could be talking out of my ass there, but I know I've definitely completed the 2 DLCs, but I'm trying to think, and like, I don't think I've ever completed GTA 4. That might be something I need to do. But
Well, there was that time that we were both trying to complete it in one night, and I think we gave up after like an hour.
yeah, because I mean, I don't know. The although it's similar in some ways, it's so different from GTA 5, and I'm
It
so
is.
used to GTA 5 now being. I mean, I know people have preference, and that's fine, but GTA 5 is a better developed game than GTA 4, and we may as well move into 5 while we're here. Of course, it originally came out. I got it for Xbox 360, and that game was just... I just remember playing that game for the first time and just being like, holy shit, this is really, really good. They've come a long way since GTA 4, because it is different. It's
It is.
very different than GTA 4, and having 3 characters. What was your initial reaction when you seen that trailer, or maybe a second trailer, and then they revealed you're going to play as 3 different people? I didn't know logistically how it was going to happen. I was like, are we going to get like
Yeah.
3 people, like, so you start off as one, and in the middle of the story you're another, and at the end you're another person? I didn't know how this switching was going to work, because it was something that GTA has never done.
Yeah, but they implemented it so well, and it all just works together and it flows perfectly with each, like with like switching between characters and how they tell not only their own story but how the stories also connect with each other. And I mean, I've completed that game probably like 3 or 4 times now,
Mm,
and each time I just feel like it's the first time I've completed it.
yeah.
It's just fun to play. It's from like start to finish is just a great game.
Yeah, it is, and the three character thing is fantastic. I love it. I just recently completed GTA 5 again on PS4, after completing it a couple of times on Xbox 360, of course. And every time I notice little different things, and I'm like, this is just
Yeah,
so replayable. And the beauty about those kind of games like Grand Theft Auto is that even when you finish the story, there's so much else to do. There's stranger missions, and you're just driving along and something will come up. Like, it's so
yeah.
kind of blows my mind a little bit about how just advanced that game really is. It does really operate like real life, and it's weird, and I don't understand how it exactly works, but there's always something new in that game to me. I'm like, okay, I have never really seen this, I don't think. Even just driving around, like the amount of times I just get on there and listen to the radio station on or non-stop pop on GTA 5 and just go for a drive like it's fucking real life. It's like crazy and bizarre.
Yes.
Before we talk about 6, I'd be silly not to mention Red Dead and Red Dead 2. Of course, in between 4 and 5 is when Red Dead came out, and that still to this day is my favorite game ever, Red Dead Redemption number 1. I
Mhm.
remember completing that game and just being like, whoa. I won't talk
That
spoilers here because some people probably still haven't played that game, and I'm not going to be that guy, and I haven't
no.
finished number 2, so no fucking spoilers. But Red Dead 1 is just, to me, it's the perfect game. It's just
It's
perfect.
it's a yeah, it is. It's like a spiritual journey. You get
Just,
so attached to characters, and yeah, you really don't have any other experiences like that game.
just so, like, it's so open. And it's so, like, when you originally see that game and you're like, okay, this is essentially the Western equivalent to GTA. Okay, but
Yeah,
it's like, oh, that'll be kind of boring. You're just going to ride around on a horse. There's no music in that game. Like, there's no radio in that game. It's so, this will be boring. You get it. And you're like, oh shit. For one, it has a fantastic soundtrack. Just fantastic. Two, the possibilities of just riding around and interaction with animals. Like in that game, that was one of the first games that I can remember with an animal system like that operated like real life.
yeah,
I've
yeah,
never seen that before, and of course they implemented that into GTA 5. You see so many animals in GTA 5, just like running around and stuff. I mean, you have a dog. Chop is your dog, Franklin's dog. So it's really like that set up the groundwork for GTA 5, I should say. And man, it's just Red Dead is just so good. Red Dead 2 is also great. Of course, it's technologically advanced than Red Dead number 1. So Red Dead 2 is still fantastic. Of course, I haven't finished it, so it's hard to judge, but the story at where I'm up to is pretty damn good, and it's a really pretty game.
it is, and I think that's where they try to I guess make up for not having any radio or any like music is
It's
they put
aesthetically
all
pleasing.
that, yeah, they put attention to detail in your surroundings, and you get lost in looking like off in the distance to mountains or just the animals running around. And yeah, they distract you where you don't even notice that there's no music, and you just feel like you are riding a horse just out in the open. Or at least that was my experience.
Yeah, it was just, I agree. It was just great. And coming off of GTA 5 going into Red Dead Redemption 2, my expectations were pretty high for that game, just coming off of Red Dead 1. But knowing what they knew with GTA 5 and how great and how much they nailed it, I was like, oh man, expectation levels here for Red Dead 2 is pretty high. I would say for the most part they've pretty much met my expectations or exceeded them, at
Yeah,
least where I am in the game. And just playing it, there's so much to do. Like it takes you a long time to ride around in that game. And I mean that like in a good way.
yeah,
A lot of time has been spent on the last two Rockstar open world games for me. I've just loved. And speaking of expectations, I don't know if it's physically impossible to meet up to everyone's expectations of what Grand Theft Auto 6 will be, because you dive in on the internet to this, even just forums and stuff, even not even just speculating, people just wanting shit. And Rockstar are very good. By the way, I'll mention something. Rockstar are very good at bringing out games that are fully polished. Of course, there's still bugs, and of course, there's glitches. It's going to happen in every game. But
you could say that, but when GTA 5 first came out, online multiplayer was not
online
playable.
was different. I'm talking like that was more so. That wasn't like the game itself bugging out. That was more so I don't think their servers were up to speed of what Grand Theft Auto Online actually was and the capacity. I think that was more that. I'm talking about the actual. It's not really often that you see many bugs. You have to kind of search for them, and they're not like prominent. They're not like just happening all the time.
They're funny.
And yeah, if they happen, you're like, oh, this is hilarious. It's not game breaking or anything like that. They're pretty polished when they come out. They take a long time with these games for a reason, is because they want to bring out a game that's completed and ready, and you're not going to have too many issues with these games. So Grand Theft Auto 6 has a lot to live up to coming off of all of their games. I don't know if it's going to be possible to necessarily meet everybody's expectations. However, I've been kind of watching a lot of stuff about just speculation, rumors. I like looking at that kind of stuff to see what comes true, see what doesn't. For the most part, they don't, but I just like to kind of be involved. Of course, the major rumor that everyone seems to think that will happen is Grand Theft Auto 6 will be in Vice City. Now, I know personally I would like to see Vice City in a 2020 world, or whatever the year this is going to come out, but in a today landscape, I would like to see Vice City remade, because it has been a long time since Vice City came out. I would like to see Miami get, Florida get done up. There's a lot of rumors going around that it's going to be Vice City, that it's going to be multiple cities, that it's going to be all of the cities. There's so many things going around, but for you personally, without looking into, and we'll talk about rumors and stuff from other people in a second, but for you personally, what is something that you just want to see from Grand Theft Auto 6?
I want to see, like, character returns. I want to see, like, main protagonist returns. I don't really care who it is at this point. I just want to see, like, a character from another game come back. I mean, I know you said don't talk about the rumors or whatever, but I have been hearing a lot about CJ.
Well, CJ has a terrible relationship with Rockstar. I doubt.
Yeah, that's a big problem. So,
but Rockstar have come out so many times and said we will not bring back characters. They don't intertwine with each story. That's not how it operates. Each era has its own thing, and that they will not have that crossover with main protagonists and main. That's what they've always said. But I mean, it's not hard to go around and be like, well, we changed our mind.
Yeah, or they could just be saying that because they don't want people to expect it, and then they throw it at your face.
That's
because
true.
In San Andreas they did it. In one of the racing missions, before in the cutscene, the main protagonist from number 3, he was fixing up a car.
Yeah, that's because they're in the same era, though.
Yeah.
So
we can make this happen.
so there's different. So that is the 3D era, and so anything on PlayStation 2 is in the same era, and then the HD era is the PS3 era. That, I mean, technically Grand Theft Auto 5 wasn't technically made for for this generation's gaming systems. When you think about it, they were just ported over in a certain. I mean, they were updated, but you know what I mean. They didn't come out in this era, so we haven't actually had a GTA in this era of gaming systems, because we're not going to get it in this area of gaming systems. You got a PS5 and an Xbox.
Yeah, that's what they're saying.
What are they? What is it? Xbox. What is it?
Xbox Series X.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah.
They come out at the end of the year. This is exactly why we're not getting GTA 6 stuff for a little while, because I think we're gonna get it probably in 2 years' time, because they usually delay shit. I think we'll get an announcement more towards the end of this year, and then maybe 2 years after that is when the game will actually come out, because Rockstar, they'll announce a date. It'll be like summer 2021, and then it will be delayed. They always do that, which is, I don't mind that, because I would rather a game that's good I'd
Yeah.
rather a game that's great than good. So it really doesn't bother me. If they're delaying, it just means a good thing. I mean, we'll get back into GTA in a minute, but you must be pretty annoyed, like I am, that The Last of Us got delayed indefinitely.
Oh yeah.
I was ready for that because that was a couple of
That.
months, wasn't it? That was
Yeah,
in
that
May.
made me mad.
I was.
I
I
mean,
know.
I can understand, but
Me too, because again,
yeah,
I'd rather a game that's just and in this current landscape of the world. But still, I'm allowed to be salty, and I'm
yeah.
salty about it. Anyway, back to Grand Theft Auto 6. I'm just gonna throw this at you. Then we'll get to some rumors into some rumors and some speculations. Two
Hit me.
questions. So first things first is female protagonists. Are we gonna get it? And second question is, would you like to see a single character or would you like to see multiple characters again?
Female protagonist, I would like to see just because that would be different. That's something that Rockstar haven't done yet.
Why
So
haven't we got it yet? Because I'm kind of baffled that we haven't had it yet.
that I couldn't answer. um, I don't know why Rockstar haven't done it. I think maybe they are waiting. Because obviously GTA 5 they would have already had the story. They knew that they had something. It was going to work well. I don't know. Maybe we'll get one in GTA 6. Maybe that will be that next step. That thing that will stand out from the rest will be a female protagonist. Or maybe we will get multiple. Maybe it'll be female and male work together.
Yeah, I don't know. Multiple characters is something you'd like to see come back?
Probably not three, but I could see maybe two. Two
I
people
don't know
working
how I
together.
feel about it because Trevor, Franklin, and Michael were all so great. They were all had layers, and I think that if you did another three, it's going to be hard to outdo that trio.
I
They
wouldn't
all
say
just,
three. Just come back with another two, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'd be fine with it either way. I think I'd prefer a single character than multiple,
Yeah.
but if they were to go with it again, I'm certainly not going to be mad. It was certainly fun. Who was your favorite out of the three? I'm pretty sure you're going to say Trevor, but
I don't know. I think I liked all three of them for just for different things that they had. But yeah, Trevor. The favorite part that I had about Trevor was when you'd switch over to him from another character, and he'd be like
drunk.
waking up in the middle of like a highway in his underwear, and you're like, "How? How'd you get there? Like,
Yeah,
where's your
Trevor was
stuff?"
wild. I'm a Michael guy. I like Michael. He's the everyday man that also kills
Yeah,
people, but he's the everyday man that hates his wife, and
yeah. He
I
just has
just
like dad problems. Like his
yeah,
kids are just
he's just
a
great.
holes.
Yeah, his kids are they're
Yeah,
pieces of trash, and I just liked Michael. But I did like them all. Franklin was probably the most like familiar feeling Grand Theft Auto-ish character, to be
yeah.
honest. Like, especially in a Los Santos environment. But I don't know. I just liked Michael, but again, I don't know how I'd feel. I think I would prefer a single character, but it is what it is. I think when we talk about rumors, I think, like I said, Vice City is the main rumor that I always see, is that everyone just thinks this game is going to be in Vice City, or maybe just people are putting it out into the universe so it happens. But is Vice City something you think it's time to go back to Vice City?
Well, what I've read up on is that it's going to be based in both Vice City and a new fictional place.
That's what I've seen
Sorry,
too.
in a place called Rio de Janeiro. I hope I didn't butcher that name. But it's going to be so the protagonist starts off in Vice City and then moves to this new area where he joins like a drug cartel and you work your way.
I've seen multiple different sources with. I've seen multiple different like Reddit posts and YouTube videos where it's
Yeah,
like the
so
same.
many.
It's like the same concept, but there's always different details. But
Yeah,
it's very much all related to something with drugs because
yeah.
I mean we've had obviously GTA stories that have involved drugs, but I don't think a story has been like purely centric around a drug cartel, has it?
Like you're trying to become a drug lord. No,
No, that hasn't
I
happened.
don't think any
Gang
game has
related.
been like
Everything's
that.
gang
Yeah,
related or like something along those lines. With when it comes to Grand Theft Auto, I mean, not so much GTA. Well, it had it in it, but I've seen that a lot, but Vice City seems to be the one constant within all of these, is that there's gonna be Vice City involved. Have you seen the rumor about a potential of like it's gonna have all of the cities in one, which I don't think is physically possible.
I think that is just people wanting
But
that
then
to be a
again,
thing.
we haven't seen the power of a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox
No,
Series
I don't see
X
that
One.
being this GTA. Maybe that will be the final one
I
where
think like that's
they,
their aim.
yeah,
That's where
they
we
just
can
want to.
get to.
They maybe want a couple more games where they introduce new characters, and then for like one final, because obviously GTA can't go on forever. We can't have like GTA 20, so
Well,
they're
you
gonna
don't
end
know
it.
that though, do you?
They, I mean, it could,
It's
but
they would be a billion-dollar company at this point, right?
oh yeah,
I
but I
think Grand
think
Theft Auto 5 is the biggest selling
it is.
entertainment game. What the fuck am I saying? Video game of all time. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
been beat now, but it was at one point.
yeah. But yeah, I see them eventually coming to the final game where they just say, "Look, this will be our final game. Let's just." I mean, they'll break their own rule and they'll just have everyone in as one. All cities, it'll be huge. All cities in one, all
I
characters in
think
there.
I don't know. I think we're well away from that now, though, because
Oh,
I
for
mean,
sure.
each Grand Theft Auto comes out 5 or 6 years after the last. At this point, I mean, Grand Theft Auto 5 come out in 2013, so what? That's 7 years. Um, it'll be nearly 8, 9, 10 years in between 5 and 6. But
Uh,
I
yeah,
mean, Grand Theft Auto is so. I mean, that game, Grand Theft Auto 5, is still relevant today because of GTA Online, basically, and
yeah.
the game is just so massive. Um, but 6, I mean, Jesus, like, every time I think about it, I'm like, how is this going to top 5? Because
I mean,
no
they've
doubt they
always.
will.
I don't think they've so much topped themselves, except for getting better software to make a better game graphics wise. But each game has its own individual greatness to it. You always go back and think, hey, that game was good for this reason, or this game was good for that reason, but it was never like better than any other. They just all had their own individual greatness to them. And I think that's just what GTA 6 will bring. It will bring something that you won't so much be like, oh, this is better than number 5, but it's just what makes this game stand out. And I reckon that's what it will be.
It's 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 a. I mean, all of these. I mean, I've seen some wacky rumors about this game. By the way, at one point, there was a Reddit post, a reliable source. I say that with sarcasm because no one's reliable to me unless it's Rockstar. That's how I feel with these games. But there was a reliable source saying in March they're going to announce something. They're going to announce something. That's how it's happening. This is going to be revealed. GTA 6 is coming. Blah, 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 blah. Obviously, it's now April and we got nothing. But I mean, to this person's point, it could have, and plans obviously could have changed with the current world that we are living in, and that could have been like they could have been like, we're delaying the announcement of GTA 6 because of the coronavirus, which is definitely possible because
Well,
we are
yeah.
living in a pretty weird time. So they might not want to announce something like this at this time, which is fine, but I don't know. That's all speculation from my own brain at that point. But like I said, I don't believe anything until Rockstar tells me. However, it is fun to be like, ooh, what are we gonna get from this game, and what are we gonna do? But Ryan, you did some like deep diving into some rumors and stuff. Other than the ones we talked about, what's some other kind of key points here that you've kind of gone like, oh, that could be interesting?
They now all these are obviously just rumors and just people, uh, I guess, doing their research, but nothing could be true. But someone that I've seen that could be pretty fun in the game is it'd be weather is heavy focus, so we'll get like hurricanes and floods and tornadoes. So I mean that
I
would
mean,
be
that's
fun.
definitely possible because you've
Yeah,
seen how the climate changes in Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead 2. Like, there's obviously climate is a very big, part of those games, is storms and stuff. But it's
yeah.
definitely a direction they're kind of aiming for if you play their old games. So that'd be something cool. I'd be down with like big hurricanes and stuff to actually happen. You're like, oh shit, because it is the real world.
Yeah, I'd love to run into a hurricane and just get shot up
Fucking
into
wrecked.
the
Yeah, it'd
sky.
be
Yeah,
great.
that'd be great.
That's something I seen as well, was climate-based things, but nothing what you just exactly said. But the climate is going to be much more of a key character, I guess you will, in these games. What's some other things that you've seen?
Some others are people reckon that the game is set in a modern day Liberty City, which is away from the new fictional place and Vice City. So these are kind of running into each other.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible because Liberty City's always going to be their go-to place, I guess. But I don't know. It feels like we just seen Liberty City. I mean, I wouldn't be mad, but
no. It will have twice the amount of dialogue as GTA 5 and a really crazy plot twist. That'd be nice to get thrown out.
I guess there was plot twists in GTA 5. Yeah, I was going to say, well, this wasn't really a plot twist, but there was, obviously. And yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, they're probably going to up the dialogue and up the story again because each GTA game seems to be getting fucking longer and longer, which isn't a complaint, but obviously, and they spent this much time on it, you'd want it to be a little bit of depth.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy speculations and rumors that are going around. Some of these in the list that I got, they want to have an incredible 70s and 80s soundtrack, so we get to look forward to that one.
Music in GTA is like,
it's always great.
I love GTA music. 4 was a little bit. 4 had the worst out of the bunch, but I mean, San Andreas, the soundtrack. My God, sign me up. It's one of the main reasons I still love that game as much as I do. Vice City had a great soundtrack, especially as I've gotten older and started to appreciate 80s music. Oh, man, that's great. But GTA 5, I don't listen to anything but non-stop pop because it has some great fucking bangers on it. I mean, the Backstreet Boys are in that game, so...
Yeah. There's one here. One playable protagonist, male, not female, despite supposed leaks. Now, leaks can be... like true and it could be not true.
I mean, yeah, so, I take them with a grain of salt.
Yeah, so with this saying that despite supposed leaks, you can't just say they're not going to be true because they could be true. And how do I know that this is right? I was like,
exactly. Anything that we're saying and anything that I don't believe anything. I think this is the philosophy that most people have: is unless Rockstar say it, you take it how you want to. But female protagonist is something that people have wanted since GTA 5. I remember when the trailer come out for that, and I just remember watching that. I watched that trailer live. I remember staying up late because they drop at like 1 a.m. or something here. And I remember staying up for it and being like, okay, I'm going to watch this. And people in the live chat would be like, female protagonist. And then we got 3 protagonists and everyone kind of shut up about it for a little while. And now we're going into GTA 6, and that's going to always be the number one thing that sticks out to me is people want this. And I want it as well. I think it's time we got one, but they have explained a little bit why, I think, and this is paraphrasing, but I remember seeing some kind of interview or something, is that we don't know how to adjust to a female protagonist with violence and stuff like that, because do you have to then adjust how the world lives around you? Are people going to be okay if you're a female protagonist getting punched and violence against you by a man? But then there's the argument of people are women in GTA Online, and there's no issue with it there.
I mean, that was a big problem with number 5. I remember they took it off Target shelves because of the violence against women.
And not only that, I think Australia is a bitch when it comes to video games. Is like, if it's too violent, they won't sell it at certain stores. Some games get banned completely from here. So Australia has weird video game laws. I don't understand them. But
a little bit too soft.
Yeah, they don't. GTA 5 is, you can still buy it in Australia, of course, but you can't buy it. You can only buy it at select places. Like, game places will always carry GTA, but everyday kind of retail stores won't for the most part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a female protagonist is always going to be something that we see, no
Yeah.
matter what. Is they want GTA hasn't had the greatest history with featuring women in a very predominant way. Let's be honest.
No. Although I have in GTA 5, I have been driving around and I would hit a car and a woman would get out, throw me out of my own car and start stomping my
Oh
head in.
yeah,
So
and I think for the most part in GTA Online on my 360, not on my PS4, I played as a woman. I think my character was a lady. She had
yeah.
dreadlocks. I used to beat the shit out of people.
Yeah.
It's really no different at the end of the day to me. I think it's time though. I hope we get. I do really that. If I have one wish for GTA 6, other than it being in Vice City, because I just genuinely want Florida in Grand Theft Auto. I want Miami in this era of GTA. Is I wanna see a female protagonist, or at least I want to see females represented a little better in GTA, because that would be their one flaw for me. Everyone knows that listens to me with wrestling, and just the world that we live in now. Women are in a different spot they were even 7 years ago when GTA 5 originally came out. I think women are being taken a little bit way more seriously, and as they should be. So I think it's time when you go back over your kind of history of video games, how many games have you really owned or played or even just seen as just with women in the main spotlight that isn't like quote unquote like a girly game? You know what I mean? Just a badass woman. There's not really that many, is there?
I can think of number one, which is Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
I mean, Tomb Raider is...
She is badass. She's about as badass as they come.
Yeah, that's true. She would be the... But then, again, it's only a handful. You know what I mean? Out of all the games ever.
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from.
It's a handful. And I just think... I don't know. I have no problem with it. I'm sure you don't have a problem with it either.
No.
I would be down for it. And in a Vice City-like world, I think it'll kind of fit really nicely.
It would.
It's like a very bright, beachy kind of... That's how, Florida, Miami is. Palm trees everywhere and stuff like that. That's what I think about. Even if you go and play Vice City, it's very much like that, even in that graphical world. But it is. So I'd like to see it. But
this is a kind of a big one. This is more, I guess, a rumor that
reaching
covers over what the game is going to be, like even characters to places. So it says, you play as an up-and-coming drug lord wannabe named Ricardo. Another key character called Casey is a part of the narrative. You start off as a grunt doing runs as a cocaine smuggler from Vice City. So that's where Vice City comes in. So you start off in there. To the new large South American area before making connections with big-time drug lords and making your way up multiple cities.
I mean,
now that to me actually sounds really good.
It does, and it sounds. But see, the thing I see with that is that's very broad, and it's very easy for that to be correct.
Yeah.
Because it's not diving into too many specifics. It's got like a pretty, and again, I see that drug thing everywhere. I see female characters everywhere. I see Vice City everywhere. So that doesn't surprise me. I think at this point, I'm pretty convinced that we're getting Vice City. And if we get something else, I think I'm going to be disappointed.
You're hyping it up too much.
But I think that's just what everyone sees. Like, you just type that in, and Vice City is the main constant thing that you see on every single rumor, supposed leak, just speculation. It's all Vice City. I think it's just where we naturally would go next because we haven't been there in so long. If it doesn't, but
there's one just above that whole paragraph I just read that says it's set in the 1970s to 1980s, which I guess would go off that having that playlist, like the music of it, and being in Vice City. So
I don't know. Would you really want to go back in time again?
Sure. I mean,
I guess.
Drugs, like drug lords and all that kind of stuff were
more 80s, 70s.
Yeah, they were huge back then. I mean, it's still big now, but like they ran everything back then.
It's very different now. I understand that, but I want to see Vice City in an update. I want to see Vice City in a current time, I think, but I wouldn't be opposed to it, of course.
But I mean, you wouldn't have like those bright lights like they did back in like the 80s. They had like fluoro lights and everything
Oh no,
everywhere.
it's not so much that. I just think it's just me personally wants. I want the same time period as GTA 5 because I like that because it's
Yeah.
I don't know, it
I
just
mean,
feels more
you could
natural
get
to
that
me.
because all these are, I mean, as I'm
I
reading
mean,
more of
again,
them, they kind of, I'm like, I'll read one and then, like, because the one I said before where it says it's set in a modern day Liberty City. Well, you can't have like an 80s Vice City in a modern day Liberty City. And that doesn't work.
unless there's a time jump, but I don't think we'll be
Yeah.
doing that. But um, the possibilities for this game are truly endless because Rockstar are very creative and they're very clever and they're just very good at creating these games, especially when it comes to GTA. That's their pride and joy. We're certainly going to get something fantastic. I can nearly guarantee
Yeah.
that. That's something that I know that we'll get, no matter where it is, no matter what it is, no matter who we're playing as. I'm pretty sure this game is going to be pretty freaking wild, and these next couple of years are going to be long to get this game, but I'm sure we'll have, as long as this podcast continues, we're going to talk about Grand Theft Auto at some point within these shows
Again,
because
yeah.
we both love, I mean, you love GTA, I really love GTA, so
Oh, I've played, I think I have actually played all of them.
I've spent more time within the world of GTA within all the games than I think maybe of any other game that isn't wrestling. Um, I have played those games and I still play Grand Theft Auto. That's a game that you can chuck on and just be like, I can play this for a little while just to pass some time. It's pretty
Yeah.
easy to put those games on and just kind of get lost. I still play the old ones a lot. I'm always putting in the old ones and playing them, and
Yeah, I chuck on San Andreas because I bought that for the PS4.
even though the
And
frame
I
rate
just,
issues in that game are fucking ass.
they
They're
need to fix their
ass.
shit.
I've got Vice City on my PS4 and it doesn't have frame rate issues like that. I
Damn.
think
So that's one I want to get as well. I want to get Vice City
it's like
again.
$13, dude. You should buy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just really love GTA, so we'll always come back to these and yeah,
Something new will come up with that six, and we'll be like,
exactly, and
well,
then we'll be
need
like,
to talk about that now.
talk about that. So we'll plug it in there at some stage. Other than that, that's all I really wanted to touch on this week was GTA 6. We're in a different time. I just got more friggin' the amount of notifications that I've been getting from fucking TikTok. I'm addicted to TikTok. Everyone knows this.
You're on it now.
I have TikToks. I make TikToks. I've figured out how to use the stupid thing because that was my problem with TikTok is I loved it because I could just scroll through and watch it. I was like, I don't know how to use this. It's so confusing to me. And then I just
You learn.
hammered and I learnt and now I'm all in. And some people, it's so weird with TikTok. Some people love it and they're like, they live and die by it, and other people can't stand it. There is no middle ground with TikTok. But I am on the I love it fence, and I just, TikTok is great. All I do at the moment is watch Cultaholic videos and watch TikToks. And that's all I'm really doing.
That's
That's been
fair.
my last couple of weeks not being at work. So it's just, and eating a lot of food and not leaving my house, which is dangerous.
Hell yeah, what a life.
It's dangerous though, because I know that I've put on a little chunky weight. Because all I've been doing is eating a lot of shit and not moving because I haven't needed to. So, although I'm not happy about going back to work tomorrow, I mean, by the time you hear this, I'll be 2 days in and I'll be complaining all over Twitter. But I feel like it would be good to be back on my feet again. Although dodging people is interesting at the moment. We are living in weird times at the moment. Weird freaking
Where
times.
everybody's a germaphobe.
Yep.
They've
Guess
all come
what?
out.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. I think there's no right or wrong way to act. Well, no, there is a wrong way to act, and that's good. Those people that are going around fucking licking shit is disgusting,
Yeah.
and you should go to jail. No, I'm not kidding, because
Yeah.
that is dangerous. In
It is.
America, they're treating it as terrorism. It's
Yeah.
an act of
And
terror.
that's what it is.
Because they're spreading germ, and those people that lick things and then are now in hospital with COVID-19, I don't have any sympathy for you, because it's just rank. Don't do that, people. But other than that, Ryan, are you social distancing? Are you washing your hands? Are you doing everything that the medical and government officials are telling you to do?
Of course I am. I've also turned into a germaphobe without even
Me
wanting
too.
to.
I am
But
the amount of
it's
times
not
I
a bad
wash my
thing.
hands. I'll be washing my hands a lot when I go back to work. But other than that, that will be pretty much it. We hope you speculate on GTA 6 if you're listening to this far in the thing, you're a Grand Theft Auto fan or a video game fan. So thank you for sticking it out for the last near hour. But
Yeah.
speculate away. Tweet at us because we'll be
Hit us up.
yeah, we'll happily talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. I guess that'll do it. Ryan, we need a Twitter update. Have you got more followers than 20 at this point?
Oh, actually, I haven't checked that.
Because
I think I was at 21, then I lost somebody.
oh, nice.
Hurt me.
Ryan needs
Yeah,
some more
I'm at
followers.
20.
Ryan needs some more followers. He doesn't tweet a lot,
I
but-
tweet sometimes.
but he might tweet more often if people talk to him about Grand Theft Auto 6. Huh?
Hey, I'm always up for a chat about anything.
Yeah, exactly. So tweet at Ryan. I'll have all of the links, of course, in the description. And that will do us for this week. Until next Thursday, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Toodles.